There you go.
Perfect. Hi, everyone. My name is Justine. I'm a current student at Columbia University. Joining me are my lovely team members, Nathan and Benjamin. We're all first year students at Columbia studying computer science. We're super excited to be here today to present our project that we actually built in 24 hours at a hackathon very recently, where we were able to meet Natan and the rest of the Anote squad. So super happy to be here and share our AI agent technology that we've built with the hopes of helping you learn what students are doing nowadays regarding artificial intelligence.
Fantastic.
All right, so let's introduce the problem. As students, like what exactly are we trying to target with our AI technology? The first thing that came to mind for us was climate change. A lot of us are currently working in different research places around Columbia University, and we're all really passionate about contributing to the fight against climate change. With that being said, we sought to create an app that helped small scale farmers, as we know that a lot of the farming technologies are currently only being applied to industrial farms or those who have the capabilities to have access to these kinds of technologies. So, recognizing that there was a need for small scale and medium scale farmers to adapt their technologies more quickly, we tried to build kind of an app or a platform that let them become one, more knowledgeable about what farming techniques could help them out there, but then secondly, give them the incentive to change their farming techniques so that they can develop farming styles that are resistant to climate change. And that's
Fantastic.
why we built this app. So Nathan, why don't you tell us a bit more about this like platform that we created?
For sure. Thank you, Justine, for that great intro. So we built HarvestHub. It's a social and analytics platform to empower small-scale farmers to fight climate change. So I think the key thing that was mentioned earlier is number one, we have to provide them with knowledge, and number two, we have to incentivize change. So we're really thinking about those two things, and how can the small-scale farmer really change, really adapt their techniques to the growing climate change problem. Historically, a lot of the traditional techniques that they've been using have sometimes been outdated based on new climate data, and we want to inform small scale farmers with this new data. So, what does our platform, what does our product actually do? So, a farmer is able to log into Harvest Hub and input their farming metrics. So, how does their farm look like? What type of crops are they growing? What sort of techniques are they using? What does their water usage look like? What is their irrigation? What does their soil techniques look like? And so we take all that data, we plug it into our AI engine, and we look at two different things. Number one, we look at climate data, historical climate data. So for farmers using a certain technique, what are the implications of that? And number two, we look at local dynamic updated data. So we scrape the web, we find articles, research reports, anything that can really tell us key information about what's going on in their local county. So we want everything to be personalized and tailored to them. And so we take those two things as well as their inputs, and we give them recommendations. So if they're a farmer in Beaver Creek, Minnesota, and they're looking at and they're using a certain amount of water, but there's been a drought recently, or there's been like a pipe leakage, it'll tell them, okay, here's what here's what you should change into, and here's what we suggest. So that's the first part of our platform, giving knowledge, and the second part of our platform is really inspiring and incentivizing change. And the way we're doing this is through creating a social platform. So we'll demo this later on, but the farmers can look at what other farmers are doing, see what they're changing based off of our recommendations, and from there they can trust their fellow farmers, not just this AI engine that we're using to suggest recommendations. Benji, do you want to introduce the product as well as the AI engine?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you guys hear me all right?
Yes.
Alrighty. So here we have Linda here. Linda is going to be our example farmer for the today. So she's from Beaver Creek, Minnesota, 55 years old. And she's a normal small scale farmer. She works primarily with rice and green beans. And she's noticed that as of lately, her crop yield, she's not seeing as much success. And perhaps climate change has had something to do with that. So she decides to download HarvestHub. And again, we're trying to advertise their farmers here, and we acknowledge that the process should be as simplistic as possible for them, but we really do have a lot here going on in the back end. So the moment that Linda decides to input her data, like her farm, what kind of crops that she's growing, we kind of have this really unique multimodal agent approach, where first we use Gemini to do our web scraping and our news sourcing. So we're going to be looking at what kind of data could be impacting her farming techniques. So again, as Nathan was saying, what if in Beaver Creek we had a cattle outbreak, cattle disease outbreak that is affecting the way that cattle has been eating her crops lately, or maybe the way that drainage pipes have had a leakage and could be impacting the growth of her crops. This is all regional news data in combination with just the regional climate change data. For example, we know like maybe Beaver Creek, Minnesota is going to be more prone to colder temperatures as time goes on. We factor that in along with the types of crops and the techniques that she's using into a reasoning model. And this is all done in the cloud here. This reasoning model is going to output what she should do for each one of her crops. And then following that, we have another summarization model that's going on in the back end that actually takes all the answers for the crops and outputs it into a really nice, convenient, and structured response.
Fantastic.
So we take this in combination with our basically our user recommendation engine that we have on the right-hand side to try to not only give a nice personalized AI recommendation, but also show that people nearby her are actually using these strategies, and maybe one of her friends is seeing some really good results.
For sure. All right.
So yeah, here we have some examples here that our models could be using to see how real-time news could be affecting their crop techniques.
And yeah, we that's HarvestHub. We are now going to move on to a live demo to show our product. And for us, we really wanted to demonstrate how AI can really make an impact in many different places. And so this is HarvestHub. Benji, do you want to walk us through what's going on here?
Yeah, sure. Let's go through it. So again, we're going to be Linda here. Let's select rice, maybe corn. And we're going to select our irrigation techniques, drip irrigation, composting, why not? Flood irrigation for corn, and soil management, no-till farming. We save our techniques to the database, and we press give recommendation and extracting this process, making it as easy as possible. And here, right here, we see that for corn, we should change our strategies. And we even see, again, the University of Minnesota actually discovers, or we see that given our little web scraping engine here, we see that the University of Minnesota has made a study on beavers and ecosystem stability. So maybe she should switch up her routes with corn. Again, we can even see people nearby. Who knows? Maybe we know Taylor Swift. Click on here. We can even see other people's farms, So maybe let's see whether Simos is actually doing a good job with his farming. On the bottom here, we can see when people switch over. So again, we're really trying to incentivize the idea of community and just seeing what other farmers nearby are doing.
Thank you. That was our product. We really appreciate Natan and the whole Anote team for inviting us here to speak on how AI can really make an impact on multiple places. Here's our emails information. And
Awesome.
Benji,
Yeah, I mean, as a team, we're super excited about building this technology. I think, Anote is doing a really good job of showing all the different technologies that can come out of the AI revolution. Hopefully, HarvestHub can give you a sneak peek into what 24 hours can do. I mean, if we're able to build this thing to help, the agricultural sector very quickly, we're super excited to see all of the new technologies that'll arise, and hopefully young people like us can be a part of that too. So, once again, like Nathan said, we'd like to extend our gratitude to Natan and the entire team for having us. Super excited to keep building.
Thank you.